They picked up a pretty good lineup. There were a couple of flaws, but they managed to basically drop to an Arc Warden, which is a very dirty pick if you ask me.
I guess in a way they did not expect that Weaver to actually be in support. You called it out first, so props to you on that one. But it's also very demotivating in a sense that when you talk about Geek Fam, you know that they've got name in the scene. Meanwhile, MS Chonburi is the one who's like coming in as the underdog, and they just wiped you clean. Like there was even no competition in that first game. So we'll see what Geek Fam wants to do. They picked up again the Mars, most probably going to be on Cuckoo. He is drafting for the team, so he might pick that one up for himself. They have a Phoenix now, so it's the typical eggs into Arena of Blood combo. You can't run away. It's definitely going to proc. But MS Chonburi coming in with, again, a split push potential lineup. Ember, Nature's Prophet, both of them can potentially get around the map as easy as they want to. Push the lanes in. It seems like a rinse and repeat. They found the formula to go up against Geek Fam.
Yeah, I think Chonburi, they're going to go mostly for the split push route. If you ask me, we've seen it in Game 1, likely to happen in Game 2. I've spoken to quite a few people about Phoenix, and a lot of players I've heard, they sort of dislike Phoenix being picked up super early. The hero itself gets very gimmicky, especially if you're really relying on Phoenix's Supernova to be doing any kind of work for your team. Picking it up this early, it sort of allows the enemy to pick heroes that not only fit in their lineup, but can also to a certain degree counter the Phoenix Supernova. If they wanted to go for the Weaver again, highly unlikely. I think Ponle might be picking up, maybe in support Nature's Prophet. It has happened before. Lina as a mid, I think Ember Spirit's going to be taking up that mid role instead though. But anything that can hit fast can just destroy the Supernova egg. And even then, there's something else you have to consider. If they want to utilize the Supernova egg, you need lockdown to keep heroes within that boundary so that they can get hit with the Supernova stun. Most teams, if they don't proc the Supernova properly, teams just run away. It's so easy to run away from a Supernova egg unless the enemy has a disruptor themselves to glimpse a hero back within range, unless they have enough disables and stuns. And Center is a perfect counter to this because you run away with the Stampede.
Yeah, now they can, but now they have like 3 AoE on the side of Geek Fam now with the Will-O-Wisp and the Arena of Blood, so maybe that should fit into the setup you were talking about, but I'm not too sure about committing all 3 heroes for that one strat, and what if it just falls through? They're hoping on a perfect initiation at this point.
Yeah, so the Phoenix is useful in this here. We'll have to find out what happens with it. Late game Phoenix can be really, really great as a support, not only from like the Supernova. Sunray does a lot of damage, and it can heal teammates. So if you win a team fight, then you can just heal up your entire team in one Sunray. Keeper of the Light, also another hero, great in the late game because you can also sustain your team with the heals, especially the Disco Ball. I hate that skill, super annoying. Although I'm not sure if it's going to be a problem if you're running a Centaur. You could just stay out of range of the Disco Ball and you're fine.
It's probably just a setup for the Arena of Blood, right? You catch a whole bunch of people in there. And it's also a good D push, seeing as though they picked up the Nature's Prophets themselves. He can clear off the Treants with his Illuminate Blast. So I guess they're really trying to stall the game as they just picked up the Terrorblade for himself. So they might, again, Geek Fam going into the late, but we've seen how MS Chonburi plays it in the early. Is that the ideal? I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure they have an idea coming into this game too, at least a clearer idea than the first one.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm really curious because Geek Fam's lineup is running into a similar problem like last game. They don't have anyone to set up outside of Cuckoo's Mars. I'm assuming Cuckoo's going to be playing the Mars. Keeper of the Light doesn't really have a way of keeping a hero locked down. Same thing with Phoenix. Phoenix has to rely on Mars for setup. Terrorblade has like the slow, but that's not a proper lockdown. Then you have to now deal with a Emperor Spirit that's just going to be remedying around. You've got the Centaur Stampede to benefit the whole team. You have a Mirana that has Leap. I don't know how they're going to kill anybody if they just get duked all over the place.
MS Chonburi does love those very super annoying heroes. Heroes with mobility, that seems to be the game here. Every single one of their heroes right now. Stampede and the Centaur, the Leap and the Mirana, Ember with his Sleight of Fist into Remnant, Nature's Prophet. They just go everywhere. at this point with his
Yeah.
teleport. So they really like to play it super mobile. And Geek Fam, oh, there you go. You've got a Storm Spirit, but do you have a reliable lockdown for all of them? That's the bigger question.
Yeah, the good news is that Chonburi doesn't really have the best way of dealing with the Storm Spirit either, so this could be a really good Storm Spirit game. I'm just a bit worried though because Storm Spirit is on the greedy end of the spectrum when it comes to mids. Terrorblade, very, very farm hungry. He doesn't really benefit the team outside of pushing with his metamorphosis. And they've got a very interesting support duo, which it's actually better at counter pushing than it is from pushing themselves. So maybe what they're going to do here is they're going to set up for the late game situation where Storm Spirit and Terrorblade get super fat because Chonburi can't push.
Choose your hero.
Ooh, we got the Void
Recognizing
Spirit coming in
the
as
lack
our
of stun. Yep. He knows that he can play a free Void game. There's no stuns coming out from the side of Geek Fam beside those big bad ultimates. It does have the static remnant and the vortex to pull them in, but that's about it. Not as reliable as we would think, though. So
Yeah.
we'll see what MS Chonburi can do with it. The Storm does counter the Nature's Prophet, so maybe pushing on his own is going to be somewhat feeding to him if he ever reaches to a point where he gets super fat with that. But it looks like it's a stalemate at this point. Like MS Chonburi, they can split push, but Geek Fam has the anti-push. They can clear waves super easy with the Fire Spirits, with the Illuminate, with Terrorblade and his illusions. They do that really easily. So
Yeah. It's
I don't
gonna
know.
be on. It's on Chonburi to make the move here because if you want to go super late against a Terrorblade, I don't see them being able to overpower both Raven and Carl because they're in very, very strong late game heroes. Storm Spirit, insane mobility. You don't have anyone like a Rubik or a Disruptor to catch the Storm Spirit this game. So their only real option here is to try and push the lanes early like they did in game 1. The draft is different though. It's pushing potential is actually in TNT this time. It's not going to be in Nico. Nico's probably going to have to spend more time farming before he's ready to help out the team. I'm expecting a timing of about 20 minutes here for Chonburi to really start making their move. If anything, if you're cheering for Geek Fam, you're going to hope that they can buckle down here, get to the late game, and get that farm on Raven. I know Raven plays a really good Terrorblade, and Chonburi has to know this as well, so they will need to keep an eye out on him, maybe ward up the map as well, just to see where that Terrorblade is moving, and if they can, potentially cash him out and just slow down that farm, because this Terrorblade is probably the biggest wall right now.
All right, this is game number 2 of the first series of the day. MS Chonburi up against Geek Fam. It is a 1-0 going to the side of MS Chonburi right now. Will they tie this matchup or will they actually go with the 2-0 sweep on the side of MS Chonburi? We'll see in this game number 2.
Yeah, I think the heroes on Geek Fam are a lot better for them. They are playing on some of their iconic heroes to say. So we'll see if Geek Fam can do this, if they can hold the fort down. Lots of emphasis here on the Keeper of the Light. He really needs to stop this push if he can. Chonburi, though, they're the ones that are going to have to put the pedal to the metal. What's the plan, Chonburi? We'll have to see how they're going to do this game.
They are on a clock, though. Based on their lineup, they will tick out if they don't actually secure those objectives they wanted to. At least, like you said, the first 20 minutes of the game, it's going to be super crucial to see if they snowball down or not at this point, because the late game is definitely swinging the side of Geek Fam, especially with the Terrorblade and the late game Void, late game Storm Spirit. I mean, yeah, the 5-man Vortex potential. It's kind of like a black hole, which just adds up again with whatever AoE team fight potential they have on their side. And the egg.
Yeah.
Remember that. The egg would just set up for the 5-man Vortex if it gets to that point. They do scout it out with the Treants up in the top lane. Realizing it, Sari is already here, but the Terrorblade just goes straight. Raven just goes straight for their bounty runes as well. So, should be a 2 for 2. Oh,
Looks like
unless
TNT wants to
TNT
try
gets
and
this
bully
one.
out Zephyr. Does Zephyr maybe try and dive for this? They're trying to body block with the Treants.
Oh,
the
you
Dukes.
missed it! Yep.
Yeah. He gets
Will
it.
be a 2 for 2 so far. Do they get it? Yeah, it's a 2 for 2. In a bounty department. Raven going down back to his lane. All good. Pairing it up with the Kotl though. Isn't that a bit counterintuitive in the sense that the Illuminate just destroys all his creep wave and he needs to farm if not amongst everyone in the map, actually.
A really good keeper, the light player, won't hit the creeps. Normally tries to come in from the sidelines and catch them out behind the creep wave. Knowing Whitemon, I do believe he's played this hero quite a few times, so he shouldn't really put too much pressure on the lane for Raven. Not only that, Raven, super experienced carry player, he really knows how to control the creep wave, so if there are any mistakes, he should be able to adjust accordingly.
I think they play the blinding light, right? For the first laning stage, just for the missed chances, makes it hard for the enemy to last hit.
Well, it's hard to say because I don't know what he's skilled at level 1, so we'll take a look when we get down there. For now though, this top lane, it's not the best for Geek, unfortunately. Support Phoenix as well as Mars. These two not really strong as a lane duo, unfortunately.
The arrow.
Yeah, so I believe that's the blinding light. He's just going to try and harass, I guess, with right clicks. But doesn't really seem to be doing too much. There he's still farming.
Yep, he took up the blinding light. So top lane a bit hard, knowing that Nature's Prophet in the lane is known to be one of those more lane dominant harasser. So we saw them taking a whole bunch of hit already. This should... Yeah, so player disconnect, it's nothing new in Southeast Asia. We don't have the best of internet, but we make it work. Still have the strongest fan base in Dota 2, I think.
Oh wow, okay. I think that's a bit of a bit. Anyway, I actually am genuinely curious to know where the players are playing from. If they're in maybe a team house during the current situation, or if they're maybe back at their own houses.
Missing middle.
With the quarantine, probably their own houses. It's not advisable they go in a team house right now.
I mean, if they're staying together, it shouldn't really be a problem, right?
Oh, who stomped down at bottom, harassing onto Raven. Raven taking a whole bunch of hit, has to back off, but the blinding light is there.
Not really.
Still get some hits in though.
Yeah, not really that effective in this lane. I mean, it will slow down a potential kill, but if Raven is within kill range, I don't know if blinding light's going to really protect him. Yeah, the keeper in this bottom lane, I'm not really seeing the effectiveness of this. It's better than a Phoenix. I think we're just going to have to say that Phoenix isn't going to be able to benefit that bottom lane. So if you're going to put her anywhere, just put her up top. Try and soak up that EXP, because there's no real way of locking down Zephyr unless he's close enough to Ember that he gets with the chains. There is dive available, so yeah, Phoenix is okay up there. Just going to jungle with Mars instead.
TNT is gonna scout that one out, sees him there. He's not afraid though. They know they have the upper hand when it comes to the harass. Oh, Void Spirit pulls him in, Void Remnant. That's about it so far. A stalemate. The kill potential. What level? At what level do you think the kill potential should be coming up on the side of MS Chonburi to actually go for this commitment?
Well, if you mean this bottom lane, I feel like level 4 might be perfect. I'm not sure what level Seri is at the moment. Level 2. So it'll be quite a ways away. They need the arrow to land. That's something that has to happen. Seri can set this up, but it's all up to Whitemon to prevent that from happening. Because he's got the blinding light, it's going to be a pretty difficult task. But with the double edge, Terrorblade doesn't have the best HP pool. So if they can find that opening, they could absolutely kill Raven. Arrow to fire! Not the angle.
Dodge that one. The sidestep was there. Seri could have gotten it, but they do get a kill up at top. What did they get? They get the courier? They get a courier. Oh, they got the TNT. TNT dove for it.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Well worth it. You got 2 couriers for it. Yeah. It was 2 couriers.
It slows down those lanes. Mid lane looks like TNT. Oh, looks like he's going to do the bottle. The bottle refill for Nico, so he has the regen. And they're pulling Storm back.
He's going in though. Pulls in with the Remnant, but K has to be careful. TNT is still waiting in the area. They might just get him with the Sprout. He doesn't have his level 6 just yet.
He's trying to protect the regen rune. He wants to give that to Nico with his bottle. Don't want to give that to a Storm Spirit. And so I really like the way that Chonburi, they've been handling their games so far in these 2 matches. They've been very disciplined in making sure that these lanes are at least working to a certain degree. Especially the supports, I have to say, really big props to Chonburi. Their supports are incredibly active during the early phase. That they're helping to set up not only the lanes, but also kills for the rest of their teammates. Carl needs help though. Geek fam supports, they're so stuck in these side lanes that, yeah, look at the Storm Spirit.
Oh, hold it, the Remnant. Gets him in.
Look at what happens
immediately
when you
with
have
the
a
Revenant
keeper
Pulse. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a keeper on the line, Phoenix?
A bit passive.
It's
They have to.
it's a support.
Yeah, they have
Right?
to.
They can't do anything.
Support choices.
Yeah, not brave enough there, keeper. Like he thought about it. He was thinking, can I maybe take that rune with the blinding light? No, not today. Maybe another day. So far, CS though is looking pretty good for the Radiant side. Geek fam, they are winning the CS war. The mid game. What's gonna happen then?
Kills are still even across the map, but that's not what MS Chonburi is worried about. They want to push after a certain timing here, especially with the Nature's Prophet. Oh, look at the mid lane though, coming in from the back, behind the tower. He drops a deep observer. Again, in trouble. The arrow actually connects. He was hold there for at least forever. And he will go down just before he hits his 6. Or has he already? Not too sure.
Those
about
arrow
that one,
setups are going to be lethal.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Oh, there's another courier.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ponlo, man. This guy, again, just doing a lot of movements across the map, and it's working out.
He loves couriers, I'm going to say that. He sees one, he takes it. As some people like to say, carpe diem. Seize, was it seize the day? Yeah. We need to figure out what the word courier is in Latin, and we can come up with a phrase.
It's a dead language. I don't even know what it meant. Raven now getting committed upon. Sari can tank a hit. It comes in with the double edge. Will finish the job. And now Whitemon tries to push him back a little bit. But Sari, even with the low HP, he wants to go in. He knows it's 3 against 1 here. And it's a single keeper of the light. Force the rotation out of Zephyr. Which means top lane, they might look to commit if they want to. He's on his own. Cuckoo low on mana. But they are still pretty deep in here. Will he actually uses an arrow? Ponlo.
I don't think he can kill Whitemon here though. A bit too healthy and Zephyr's nearby. I think he thought about it, they saw him. So Ponley's going to be getting away. Yeah. Nico doing pretty well on this. Yeah. Nico's doing really well in this Void Spirit, second CS. He's tied with Carl though, so Carl hasn't been shut down in this lane at all. He has received a bit of pressure, but he's still well on his way to get his items. This is some good news for Geek fam. Carl maybe looking to try and start some ganks with this team, likely to pair up with Cuckoo, because without Cuckoo, they don't really have a way to lock down some of these heroes. There are some really squishy heroes on MS Chonburi. Nature's Prophet being the easiest target to kill. Mirana, you have to put a little bit of more effort in to kill her, but ideally, if they could, they'd like to get TNT.
Oh. They can actually commit onto this one though, because K is in the area, pulls him in with the Vortex, sees the Remnant. He can just zips forward if he wants to, but he doesn't.
Yep,
doesn't know how many people are there or could be there. Yeah, playing it safe. Yeah. They did not have any vision close to the tower.
If they hit the spear, I do believe they would have been able to kill him there. But the missed spear, they tried, but it's going to be wasting the Storm Spirit's time now since they didn't manage to grab that kill at all. And Mel doesn't even leave the lane. He just sticks around. He's back at full health. I believe he ate a salve. And Geek fam gonna have to reconsider who they gank now. Who do they even gank?
Well, they're trying to go for Raven. They know he's the priority target. Oh, you meant no? Geek fam gank someone now. They're just gonna play it safe now. They want to go for the farm, as you said. It's Raven is the key kill. He has to carry the whole game, but he's going down.
Yeah,
especially with
he's
TNT
got no
rotating. Yep, with the teleport, he's everywhere across the map. They gotta be careful about those sort of engagements. Zips forward, ball lightning in, catches on to Nico. Nico, he is a squishier one, but the arrow actually connects, and he could actually turn this one around. Bono comes in with the Starfall, deals decent damage, but unfortunately they cannot keep up with it. They have a lockdown issue themselves, so They're just going to go for the objective, so it's not all lost for the side of MS Chonburi. Oh, but here comes the Void Remnant, pulls him in. Zephyr's next, has no mana, has the dive to get out. Will be safe, but you lost your Storm Spirit. And now Whitemon too. Just needed one more hit.
I don't think you want to leave the tree line now. My goodness. Ponley's arrow, that completely caught Carl off guard. He didn't expect the Mirana to be there at all. Once he got hit by the arrow, he just realized, wait, I'm not supposed to be here anymore. I do feel like maybe that was a little bit of... Yeah. I feel like maybe Storm just wasn't expecting the Void to fully commit onto him as well. And that's leading him to getting caught out. Cuckoo spots out middle M. They do know where they are. And Pondo comes in, so maybe they get an arrow onto the Mars. Courier. Oh no! Rest in pepperonis.
Middle M finally got a taste of what Ponlo's been doing the entire game. He drops the arrow, will dodge it, sidestep. Order room.
Anticipating the arrow.
But bottom, look at that, pushing in. You said the 20-minute mark was it. Well, they're taking towers already, so they are on the right path right now. MSC Chonburi, they know their winning conditions, and they are trying to take it as fast as possible, at least before Raven comes online.
Yeah, they have to do it before that Terrorblade starts to buck up and actually join in these team fights. Because for now, he's too squishy to really contribute to the team. I really want to know what's going to happen with Carl, though. What's the Storm Spirit's objective? Does he go back into a more passive style of play and continue farming? Because if both the Terrorblade and the Storm Spirit do this, they basically have no one on the front lines to maintain the tempo of the game, and it's all up to MS Chonburi to make all the moves.
Dire's top tower is under
Raven
attack.
doing a split push off his own, already committed. The Metamorphosis trying to take down the towers, but the rotations are coming in. Void Spirit is here. Oh, look at that damage. Immediately comes in, takes off Cuckoo, and the front lines actually stepping in a little bit too deep, but TNT scouts them out. Raven has to try and go backwards. TNT is baiting them into the jungle. I think so. Here comes the Disco Ball, catches two, but all they got was, well, all you got was TNT and the Nature's Prophet, as in the Nature's Prophet. So overall, still a win on the side of MSC Chonburi. They hold their tier 1 and got the kill onto Cuckoo.
Yeah, support kill. No, ideally you would have loved to get someone else that had a little bit more net worth on their head, but I guess that's the best that they could do. Just grab the best, the biggest kill.
They actually caught him once again.
My
Comes in with the, immediately takes him down. The Astral Step, the damage was disgustingly high.
I don't think disgusting is the right word. I think we need something a bit more emphasis. I don't. Disgusting's not enough.
Massacre. The Astral Step just massacred the guy.
Yeah. Probably a little bit better there. These towers are going down though. I wonder if MS Chonburi consider going for Roshan at some point. This will push them forward when they want to take objectives because they can fall back to the safety of the Aegis. Cuckoo likely gonna go down
again. Yep, commits in. Ponlo actually jumps in with the Starfall, but it's the ultimate coming up from the Nature's Prophets to finish it all off. Wrath of Nature. I heard they buffed that thing, right?
Yeah, they did. Not by much though. I wouldn't say it's like game breaking, but it does help with the push.
Like the damage is directly proportional to the number of treants you have, if I'm not mistaken.
Ice Frog just doing Ice Frog things. Don't question his judgment. Apparently it's correct.
Oh, Nico again. He's got a DD this time round, so he's got to be careful. The Astral Step. He might not survive that one. Oh, with the arrow! Ponlo once again! Nico, Astral steps in, Resonance Pulse, it's enough.
I was the first of us.
If Ponlo isn't MVP at the end of this game, I don't know what it takes to be MVP.
Yeah, apparently a good KDA, that's what. A good
Wow.
KDA is what sets you up. Oh, they're going in, they're committing straight up with the egg. Phoenix Egg's already committed, but the Stampede just get out of the range, and this is it. They don't have the lockdown. Did they not commit the Arena of Blood or something? Why wouldn't they? Is it on cooldown?
Maybe they're hoping to get more. Maybe thinking MS Chonburi might turn around after the Supernova Egg.
They most likely will, but like Baggett can't be choosers at this point, no?
Yeah, well the thing is, like, if Arena of Blood goes on cooldown, then MS Chonburi can just go ham and look for these kills because they know that they don't have to worry about it and get caught inside the arena. Oh, up spot. Oh no, it's fine. Wait, that's
Oh, he's trying to get out of that
profit.
TNT. Sees him. Yeah.
No
He
way to
doesn't have a hex
cancel.
just yet, so
No hex.
sooner
No
or later
Yule.
they might.
Any disable. Oh,
They do scout them out
Seri.
though. They see him.
Yeah, they know. They know.
Seri's just gonna throw himself in. There's no reason why he gotta play shy about it. In fact, there you go. They're the ones committing straight up. Pulls him in with the Vortex. Seri now, they used an Arena of Blood for 1. They could have done it 2, but they want the 1. And now the re-initiate comes in. Nico takes 1 in the back line. Whitemon is gone. With the Astral
Are they
Step
gonna
again.
chase?
Oh, unfortunately the Remnant was not enough in range. Could not pull 1 in, but they have no reason to play off now. They know that the big lockdown is gone. They can actually just re-engage on this one. Ponlo
Arena of Blood
tries to
is
go
down
again.
though. Arena of Blood is down. Look at how aggressive Chonburi is with their movement. They realize, okay, we're free to move now because we don't have to worry about the arena.
And they
Just follow
gotta
the
play
enemy
even
jungle.
more aggressive. They know that the Terrorblade has committed his Metamorphosis, so he doesn't have 1 up now if he were to actually take the fight.
I don't think you'd really want to be fighting at all if you're Raven. You just want to farm.
Exactly. MS Chonburi should just go jump at them, is what I meant.
Yeah.
They know that the Metamorphosis is
Style-
down.
Yeah. Manta's almost finished up on the Terrorblade, so he will start to speed his farm up with that Manta. Extra illusions help as well in case we start seeing some gimmicky things he has to get out with the Manta. But still a long way to go through that Terrorblade. You want to tank up. I get the feeling he's going to maybe go for, I guess, the Eye of Skadi. Just try and bulk up as much as he can so that he can survive the initial burst and then just turn around and steal someone's health. Let's go for the swap.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
There's no one up
attack.
there. Use a scan as well, just to double check. And Centaur are going to
Defense,
TP
not the
in.
best. Not the best at taking towers without the TB and his Metamorphosis. So the rotations just come in, scares them off. They still hold their tier
On the side.
1s. Again, on all lanes, they held. Ponlo, again, tried to go for the sneaky arrow play. Unfortunately, does not connect. He has the haste rune. Melem down bottom pushing in. With the Nature's Prophet, this tower is as good as gone.
Yep, the tower push is really strong with this lineup. 16 minutes, they're going to be looking at 2 more outer towers, and then they can start sieging that high ground. So this is where Geek Fam's going to have to be very, very careful. They need to make sure that they don't lose too many heroes, because if they lose, they're big defenders, especially that Keeper of the Light. High ground defense is really rough.
Raven at least not too behind in terms of farm. He is 7k to the 8k of the Void Spirit, but definitely not out just yet. She's going to take the lanes now, playing it smart. Going to get that Manta style soon, so at least some sort of split push potential coming on his end. Speeds up the farm as well. But mid lane, how long will it last? It's only 17 minutes, and they're taking all your tier 2s. They're going for another one. TNT actually oversteps his position here with the Moonlight Shadow. Could look to just run this one out, but they have the sentry. They scouts him out at the very end.
Oh, I
Okay,
think
just
he
pulls him
actually
in
gimped
with
himself.
Yep, the Vortex pulls him in, so he's been controlled. They zoned him out with the Arena of Blood, and was that necessary? I mean, they're trying to play it safe. Makes sense.
I do
but
believe if he... I'm not sure if I'm right here. I do believe if he didn't sprout himself, he would have been just on the edge of that Observer Ward. But I'm not 100% sure. When he sprouted, he was like on the very edge.
He was at the very edge, and that Sprout just pushed him in. They're going straight for Ponlo, but Ponlo actually does have the Yule Scepter, does not have the arrow to connect. But Seri comes in, tries to go for the Hook Storm. Great Manta style? Yeah, actually, Manta the illusion out. So he dodged that one. Arrow comes in, he cannot go to the bird! Oh my god, Ponlo! You what a god! And now they're just gonna run straight in. They know the Supernova isn't there. Remnants forward, Cuckoo's now trying to juke into 3 lines. He's one against the whole world. They've pulled him in with the Remnant. He will eventually go down.
Oh, what a disaster. Poor Zephyr though, he did not expect to dive right into that arrow. He was probably just maybe wanting to get a little bit of scouting vision just to see where they were when his team was trying to escape. Raven, did he get
Raven once again getting caught up. The wrong Raven.
Oh
Wanted
no,
the real
oh
Raven,
no.
but unfortunately, all you got was Mystique.
Probably a misclick. I have to admit, Terrorblade's hitbox is pretty big.
probably he didn't know which one was which, right? It was an illusion.
It was teleporting.
Oh, it popped. It popped. Might have spotted out Sari. Sari's in the area. Comes in straight with the combinations. The Will-O-Wisp and the Phoenix eggs to hold in place. Will pop off. Catches. Oh my god. Melam got stunned with the egg in the back lines. But unfortunately, Nico is the one coming in. He missed his remnant, so that's a slight glimmer of hope for Zephyr. Zephyr will get out just in time. Enough space for Raven to do the damage. That's some slight hope going to the side of Geek Fam. They're under the cover of Moonlight. They will take down the Ember Spirit. Ponlo saving his teammate just about a bit here, but unfortunately, 2 has already gone down. Both cores, so some glimmer of hope going to the side of Geek Fam. Raven could be pretty happy about that one.
Yeah, they almost got a kill under Zephyr, but unfortunately the Void, he actually missed the pullback on that Phoenix, so they could have gotten a little bit more. But we're starting to see Geek Fam survive these team fights. They're not being immediately blown up anymore. And that's the first step to getting this lineup to work, because their issue so far has been that once they get engaged upon, they just get blown up before they can even respond. Now that their Terrorblade has actually started to fatten up, the Storm Spirit's also starting to tank up as well, they can actually turn around and do what they need to do, which for Storm Spirit, just jump into the back lines, pick off those big heroes. The Ember Spirit pickup was huge, because that's a huge chunk of gold going towards a Storm Spirit that's been playing catch-up all game. The moment Storm doesn't have to play catch-up on the same playing field, now you've got a problem, because Chonburi doesn't have the necessary disable to keep a Storm Spirit in place, unless they build specifically for him, such as grabbing an Orchid on the Nature's Prophet, any hard lockdown. But if you're hard locking down that Storm Spirit, that means that Terrorblade's free to do what he wants. That means Cuckoo can do whatever he wants. So priorities are now going to have to be split. Ooh, that was close.
Oh, he might have just overcommit himself there when he blinked and when he ball lightning all the way in. He was out of mana. Thank god for Whitemon. Gives him some mana back, restores it in place, but that could have been pretty detrimental if he were to overcommit at that point.
Am I dreaming or? Okay, well, we'll see what Ponlo wants to make. I'm not 100% sure if he actually wants to make that. We'll find out. We'll leave Ponlo to his own things.
Did he what?
It's okay. We'll see. I want to see if Ponlo actually makes the E-Blade.
Oh, for the burst with the Starfall.
Yeah.
Does he have a Dagon? Maybe they would just go for initiative. It was hold up for a bit, but they finally dropped there.
Let's go, ball!
Outlet and a Will-O-Wisp controlling them all in place. Sari is the only victim here. It's a heavy commitment, but they know both big ultimates are down. They could look to reconsider this commitment. Ponlo leaps forward, does not get anything. Maybe would drop if he drops the God Arrow once again, like we know he could. Nico just comes in with the Astral Step, catches 2 with the Resonant Pulse. Actually, the damage is enough. They took out both Cuckoo and the Storm Spirit, and they got more. Takes another kill onto Whitemon. Raven's the only one living. Well, Zephyr is in the base, so he's excluded from that scenario. But man, the moment those 2 big ultimates are down, Chonburi, they wait no further. They just come in and open wounds the entire situation.
Big mistakes were made by Geek Fam. They used all their major ultimates just to kill off that Centaur, and then now they thought, okay, we're next to our base, we should be fine. Suddenly gets caught on the high ground, because if you take a look in that top lane, it's actually a Dire Ward. It's not a Radiant Ward. So they had no vision that Chonburi decided to wrap around and go for a kill on those 2. And because they've got no ultimates, like how do you counter initiate? You don't have the disco ball, you don't have, nothing's available. So Chonburi, they're just abusing the situation, the fact that there's just no real defensive vision outside of that jungle ward for Geek Fam, because they've got all the vision in the world and nothing's getting dewarded. I believe top lane should get dewarded now. They're gripping around it, so they will remove that vision, but that vision's already paid itself in dividends. They got 3 kills.
And they could probably get more as the engagement already commits. The Stampede's forward. TNT spots out Cuckoo. Searing Pains holds him in place. It's a 3-on-1 with a double damage onto Melam, but not necessary as the damage from Nico is enough to take him down. Magical Burst. One way to get through those bulwark. Something magical. And that's the Void Spirit filling in the void right now. Oh! Ball lightning away. He will be safe, but they have a DD now. They can look to play around it.
is under
Maybe
attack.
take this tier tower, tier
Dire's
2
middle
tower.
is under attack.
That's all they can really do. The good news though is that Raven hasn't really been touched in that bottom lane. He's been farming the entire time. So Terrorblade, he's trying his best at least to fatten up, get ready for the
He's on top of the network, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He's on top of the network, but he's only
Radiant's
ahead
top
by
tower
what?
has fallen.
Less than 1k. He needs to be quite a ways ahead to really be that threatening. So yeah, Raven's doing what he needs to do, but he needs someone on his team to sort of step up and really make space for the squad, which is where Carl, he's supposed to be the one to fulfill that role, but he's just way too squishy. We've seen him get bursted down multiple times this game. If he could survive and he had something like a bloodstone to fatten himself up, just have a little bit of extra padding so that he doesn't die immediately, then we could be looking at a different game. And desperate times call for desperate measures because the entire team is now ganking up and looking to smoke gank. Who are they gonna find? Could be Centaur.
Raven feels confident in taking this one. They do scouts out the rune being taken down. So it's just Mel M. They will just clear up the ancient stacks. So some sort of efficiency play going on right now. They do drop off the ward in case they would look to reconnect or recommit this one in. But they're drawing the lines. They want to go straight down in mid. Recognizing Raven is on their jungle side.
Yeah, that's a wasted smoke as well, unfortunately. So that's a pretty important resource for Geek fam. You want to be looking for kills with every smoke. So back to base. We're going to have to reconsider what happens from here on out because so far they've only got 2 wards now. It's on the right side of the map, one in the river, one in their own jungle, just to see if they can spot rotations. But top of the map, middle of the map, it's dark. They've got nothing to work with, minus the creep vision.
Here I am.
So I believe, is that Bloodstone coming out onto Carl in a minute? He's trying to make it at least, but...
Oh, Mel M scouts him out with the illusions. They pings him out. All his friends are in the area though, so Raven's gotta be careful. Everyone just came straight in. It was the silence there. Pops the BKB and Metamorphosis. They're just gonna turn this one around. Cuckoo. Unfortunately, they do not have the catch. Again, the same situation they had in game number 1, and they have the lack of lockdowns.
Titans. Oh! Titans
Oh, so close.
taken. Oh dear.
They can reconnect, recommit onto this one. MSC Chonburi, they know Metamorphosis is about to go now. He's got a long duration at it, but BKB is down.
Yeah, BKB's
So that's a lot
down.
of window.
I wouldn't engage there at all though. They've still got Arena of Blood. They've also got the ultimate available on the Coddle. That combo so far has been the deadliest combo on Geek Fam. They go for Arena of Blood Supernova into the Disco Ball. That combo, if Chonburi get caught by that, Perma stunned, they should die. So I can understand why they're playing a little bit more cautiously because right now, any mistakes that they make will prolong the game, and the longer the game goes, the harder it gets. Because remember, we're dealing with Storm Spirit and Terrorblade, so really, really big late game monsters, and especially if they get levels, 25 Storm Spirit is terrifying.
Dire's middle tower is under
They were
attack.
looking at it. They smoked up. Unfortunately, did not find anyone. But with the Fire Spirit being seen on a creep wave, they can assume someone's in the area. Immediately, Nico comes in. Astral steps forward. Resident Pulse pulled him in with the Void Remnant and the Starfall to finish it all off. Styling on load. They get
Beautiful
one pick off, securing the Roche for the side of MSC Chonburi.
And that's going to be a free Roche as well. No contest on the side of Geek Fam. They're just going to continue to use this time to farm. Terrorblade's got to fatten up. Now leading by almost 2k, so Raven is slowly pulling ahead. No major items though, still working on that Skadi. Only BKB Manta. Once that Skadi comes online though, I suspect Chonburi to have to set their sights on getting rid of that Terrorblade, because if they just leave him to do his own thing during those fights, he's just going to shred the entire team eventually.
One thing good though, Raven is holding the push really well with his Manta style illusions. Is keeping the wave pushed out. So MSC again on the timer. If they cannot close this game in time, it's gonna be very hard for them to do later on into the game. 30-minute mark just about to reach in about a minute and 15 seconds now. So
If you can.
Geek fam actually might look to make some sort of commitment here. They are all hurled up. Might go for the smoke play. Might not. They do drop down. They have a sentry there, so they know they can go for it if they want to.
Oh, they're grouping up. They're so scared. If they separate, if you're a Geek fam, you have to play like this. If they lose anybody, that's likely high ground.
Oh, they do catch out Zephyr. Zephyr just has the Phoenix Staff to get away, but Ponlo comes in with the Yules. The Hoof Stomp is there, connects with the arrow, but the Crimps just saved his dear life, and now they're just going to focus into this Phoenix Egg. Moves forward with the ball lightning, Remnants in him, Vortex him in. Unfortunately, he does have the Lotus Orb, and now out comes the Arena of Blood. Everyone's just fighting in, but Nico, he positioned himself well, takes 2 out from the back lines, and now Raven's on his own, has to go for the BKB TP. Cuckoo, next in line, has the Yules up. Arrow again connects. That is looking rough. It looked super promising for the side of Geek Fang, but unfortunately, Nico just at the right place at the right time. Taking up the crucial targets, positioning himself so well that fight.
They got blindsided there. They need vision for themselves to execute properly, but it almost seemed like a panic supernova there by Zephyr. It seemed like he sort of pressed it. It wasn't in coordination with the rest of the team, and then everything sort of came out a little bit sloppily afterwards, and it just didn't catch anybody. And once everyone on Chonburi knew this, they realized, guys,
the back line, Nico comes in, Resonant falls after the Escal step. Oh, does get the Sunder off though, so Nico also half HP, but Cuckoo, he's been focused on. Can they take him down? Comes in, the Storm Spirit takes down Nico at the very least. That's most of the damage dealer, has to back up now. But oh, he's not giving him a chance. Carl just moves in forward, pulls him back with a Vortex. With Seri taking it like a boss, like a champ. He is a beefy boy. He's a horsey boy, actually.
Yep. I think these Raxes are not long for the world. They need Keeper of Light to defend, but without him there, they just only have the Phoenix Sunray. And with no Sunray, what do? They can't do anything.
I think they bought back for that.
Yep, they bought back, I believe was it Phoenix and Mars?
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, Phoenix and Mars. Yeah, so even buying back and not being able to defend your Axes, that's a pretty big loss, considering the amount of gold that they have to spend now to buy back. They could have used that gold for wards, for items, to try and help themselves in these fights. Everyone on Chonburi is so rich. They're leading by 23k net worth. This 20k is when things start to get very dicey. Your chances of winning are extremely low unless you get very lucky and just win a critical team fight. For example, one around the Roche pit.
Things are looking bleak for the side of Geek Fam. A little glimpse of hope with Raven, but unfortunately Dota 2 is a team fight. It's a team game. It takes 5 on 5, not a 1 on 5. Which is exactly what Raven is trying to pull off here as they scouts him out inside their own jungle. Stampede committed, pops the BKB. Can they actually pierce it? No, they can't. So he will get out. But again, that's probably not the best way to spend your BKB. Down to the 7 seconds. Spears Mel onto a tree, but they don't have the vision. Do they? Actually moves him forward. The tech pull him in. They actually fall him pretty low. Pops the Aegis. But Nico, if Nico's around, you just get out.
Yeah. So Aegis is popped, but does it really matter?
These MSC Chonburi knows that they're playing with without the Aegis now, so maybe to play a bit more passively when pushing up to the high ground. It doesn't matter all that much with the lead they have, but they're going to play it respectfully, I think.
If they can force out another panic team fight by Geek Fam, I feel like that's sort of their best shot here if you're Chonburi. Or they could split push as well. That's something else to consider. Considering that they've got some really strong pushers on the side of Chonburi, they could maybe do that. They got to be careful not to get caught out though, because it's plays like that that can really throw the game away if you give away unnecessary kills. We've got 2 heroes converging on the Storm Spirit down bottom. I doubt they can get him. Yeah, they're going to leave him alone. This is a really tough game though. Geek Fam, they're holding on. Their Terrorblade's still farming. That's the most important thing. Raven's still doing what Terrorblades do. Just farm, farm, farm. Even Carl's actually hanging in there as well. He's getting tanky himself.
They gotta take down the TB. The TB's illusions is not making it easier to push the games forward. Whitemon now very low, but surely with TNT around and a right click, even a Remnant committed for that kill, and it is secured. So one of their anti-push heroes is down for the count. 30 seconds. Probably not long enough to pull anything off here, but
hang on.
spot a call.
Podlo.
It's Podlo with his arrow once again catches him. Unfortunately, the distance not enough to create a long range stun, but K going for the TP. Will they actually take him down? No, they won't.
Yeah, no Yules. They really needed the Yules, but Podlo used it earlier. Unfortunate position. If the creeps weren't there, he would have gotten a nice clean arrow, and that should have been enough to keep him locked down, but he had to double jump. Point blank arrow, which does almost nothing for stun. I think at point blank it's what, 0.5? A really short stun.
Negatable, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they're hanging in there. One rack's down, but Geek fam, they're not out.
They have these illusions, those counter pushes. Still gonna be a nuisance to push against. As we can see, the lanes are not pushed in on both sides because they can't, because those illusions keeps going out there and cutting the creep wave. His illusions are pretty tanky themselves, so
Yep.
they have ways to handle it. Yeah. They just have to
Terrorblade coming
hold
in
in the
handy,
mid.
and even the Keeper of the Light as well, just an Illuminate can usually clear a creep wave. So this is sort of what we were talking about earlier. Geek fam holding down the fort, forcing the game for as long as possible, and hoping during that time frame that Raven is also farming himself. I like the deep vision from
Radiant are scanning.
Excuse me. I like the deep vision from TNT because if this ward is empty, chances are the team knows that Geek fam is possibly looking for something. It's going to teleport up to the top of that enemy base, put a ward down. Is it down? Yeah. So he's got
Also,
a
it
ward. They
scouts
know
out
they're
the
not
courier,
home.
right?
Yeah, look at
Scouts out the
Seri. Seri
courier,
knows
so-
something's up.
So like any item progression they might need to get from the secret shop is probably not happening, but they do catch him out though. TNT, how did they find him there? Did he make a reveal on himself? Falling pretty low, has the sprout, but the Spear of Mars will just hold him in place on his very own tree. So a win going on the side of Geek fam, starting to be the formidable force here as they find it tough to push the lanes all in.
Yeah, likely either the courier flitted right over him, or he stepped within a weird angle and the tower saw him. It's hard to say what really happened there. We didn't get to see, unfortunately. Yeah, so this game, it's going longer and longer. No one's de-warding the wards in the enemy base though. So Geek fam likely not knowing that these exist.
Oh, but
And
he took down the
Storm Spirit
Spawn
has
Spirit. That's a big kill. Immediately Remnants forward. They see Whitemon again, the guy who's been dealing with all these split pushes, dealing with the waves. They're gonna commit onto Cuckoo. Astral step forward, but the guy seems to be pretty healthy. Drops the arena finally, but catches onto no one. Raven now already popped his Metamorphosis. Fortunately, Carl pulls him in with the Vortex, and the damage should be enough, but they cannot get the kill. Okay.
Yeah, Carl's very scared.
He had
I
the
don't blame
money to
him,
go for the
they
ball
maybe-
lightning, yeah, but he was trying to play it safe. He had no vision in the area. Don't know who else could it be. Could be another arrow, but he's walked into that one once, so
I think twice though. I think he got arrowed twice
true.
out of the
He
tree,
walked
so
on
I
it
don't
twice
blame him. Yeah, paranoia kicks in when you're playing up against a Marana. Where the arrows coming from? I don't know where they are. Yeah. Anyways,
Cuckoo seems to be able to tank all the engagement now, so some fighting chance on the side of Geek fam and the net worth. Well, still the TB is the one keeping up. The rest of the Geek fam squad all behind, which is expected. They were prioritizing on a Raven.
Yeah, they've got to throw everything in the Raven basket. If Raven can't carry them here, then I pretty much think the game is more or less forfeit.
Okay, finally comes in, attacks him in, but unfortunately he's the one who gets bursted down to bits. Maybe a bit regretful, that movement. Oh, he finally gets it. The E-Blade. Cuckoo now being the center of attention, but Mel M goes straight for the egg. They want it. They want it bad. They take it down, and the stun does not go off. Cuckoo to fall in next. It's just Raven against the world with his illusions. They cannot keep up with the pressure. Now a buyback has been forced, and Cuckoo gets caught out immediately after that buyback. This is not the way you want to go. If E-Blade catches him in place, will go down, that's a dieback onto Cuckoo. Raven finally commits in with his BKB, but he doesn't have the Metamorphosis, so he's just right-clicking down, finally has it. Right-clicks, people. Sunder is there, but not enough, and now the Will-O-Wisp has timeout with the Arena of Blood. He cannot survive everything. It's just White Mon on the count, tries to go for the fountain, but he will go down as well. GG has been called. Geek fan loses.
That was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
That felt like a really big mistake. I can understand the thought process. They go in there with the Storm Spirit, set up the initiation, and then Cuckoo's supposed to come in with the Mars. But Cuckoo doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He's expected to walk up to the target and then go for the Arena of Blood. But by the time he gets there, Storm Spirit's dead. He's all alone. He's got no escape mechanism because he's got no Blink. And then all of a sudden, they've just lost their entire team because they wanted to try